Welcome to Bogside Chats. We're talking everything DFK, but keeping it casual. I don't know if you know this, but we're the first non-whale podcast. No Gen Zeros, no stable of 100 heroes. Today is April 5th. My name's C9N, and we got a good episode today for you, folks. We've got the whole Bogside crew on today. How we doing, gentlemen?
Doing good. I can't believe we have the whole Bogside crew in because I'm currently sitting in a hospital. So apologize for the background noise. Apologize for the unoptimal voice settings. I've actually got a mask on, so I'll probably sound a little muffled throughout the episode. But I actually had my second Gen 1 on Sunday.
Oh, congrats, bud!
That's
Craft
completely
beer?
new information for us.
No one knew prior to this recording, yeah. But yeah, the Guy crew just got a little bigger, so exciting week for the Guy family.
That's awesome.
Well,
Congrats.
congrats, Guy, and happy you're calling in. Love it.
You know,
Yeah,
the
no days
dedication to
off
the
for this
pod,
podcast.
dedication to DFK. Jewel doesn't stop, money doesn't sleep, right?
There you go.
Hustling.
I also have an announcement.
Oh, okay.
I had way too much Chinese food right before recording, so I'm going to be a little slow here, but I'm going to power through it. We're all, dealing with things right now. So
Perfect.
I appreciate the dedication to the cause, friends.
yeah, thanks.
All right, so let's just jump into it. Matty Pesk, what do we got going on in the agenda?
I mean, obviously, I think the massive news. Crystalvale was launched, an entire new chain, an entire new region of the world in the game. How are we feeling about this launch in general? This was a massive undertaking for the team. How are you guys feeling?
It feels like it's 6 days old already. I don't know.
I mean, fair?
It feels pretty good. Nice getting an airdrop. Nice being able to do stuff with it. Nice seeing some high APRs. I'm overall positive. Everything's great.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have gone better. I mean, there was that little bump in the road, but it was pretty successful launch. Free money, high APRs, as and a lot of new map to explore. Some really cool stuff. It's awesome.
I'll bleep it. Don't worry. Yeah, I think very interesting. I've been part of a bunch of these, JPEGs and other kind of launches where like shit goes bad very fast. Where it's like the team clearly is not prepared. They don't know how to handle speed bumps. I think there were a couple speed bumps here, but they handled them completely well, and it went so smooth. And some people were upset about like timing on stuff, but like they handled it, and then like they changed how they did the airdrops. Like, cannot give more props to the team right now because I think they were just great on the whole process.
Gardens are awesome. The subtle changes to the airdrops of making it X crystal rather than crystal, and then splitting the airdrops of the immediate airdrop and then the vested over a week, I think that was brilliant too. And it's really helped the staying power of the price of crystal. We've obviously seen a drop off in recent days, but long term crystal is supposed to equal jewel. So the fact it's been trading at 3.5x, 4x jewel has been pretty amazing, and it's had some staying power for multiple days.
Yeah, and just, I know, as we mentioned, we're a little bit late to the party on this one. A lot of the other podcasts have talked through why Crystal is supposed to be, the same price as Jewel, but in case anyone hasn't heard, there's not going to be a change in the summoning cost in Sarandale or in Crystalvale. So 30 Jewel for a Gen 0 to summon in Sarandale, 30 Crystal in Crystalvale. The shortened supply doesn't change anything there. So they should be equal long term if the game mechanics prevail.
You heard it from Franz first. Sell your crystal immediately, apparently.
That's what I've been doing. So been selling it for a nice 4 Jewel pop, then 3 Jewel pop, still selling a little now.
Good. Yeah, I've been doing the same.
I did have a quick question on that. Is that the main, and I could be phrasing this poorly, but is that the main mechanism of why they will be the same price? Is these summoning charges? Because we don't know when we'll be able to summon in Crystalvale yet. Is there a chance we get Gen Zero heroes that we can go bring to Serendale and summon? And will that affect, you think, that pegging, that crystal to jewel pricing?
The fact you can bridge a hero from one chain to the other is why long term the price of crystal is going to equal the price of jewel. Because if there is a disparity, people will do exactly what you just said of they'll only summon in Serendale or they'll summon in Crystalvale till those balances out. Right now, the only utility for crystal, well, there's two. One is staking it in the bank, and two is staking it in the gardens. And since the total supply of crystal is so little right now, I do agree that crystal should be worth more than jewel in its current state right now, because there's so little crystal to go around to supply liquidity for these gardens.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
Do we have a timeline?
Say that again?
Do we have a timeline on when Portal is going active and when we can start summoning?
No. I think they said in the AMA that there are going to be some more Serendale releases before we get to that Crystalvale stuff. So, pets was a big highlight of the AMA. I mean, we can tag a few pictures to the description if anyone hasn't seen that yet, but it looked really cool. It's just one they released.
Illyrian Leafra.
Is that the name? What is it?
Illyrian Leafra.
Yeah, it looked like a cool little ent, dude.
Are we gonna have a Groot? Or that seems to be the gold legendary pet, so it's probably going to be the highest of the kind. So there's not going to be a Groot or something after it, which is
so that was interesting, right? Because there is on the card there is that like golden little like diamond thing.
Yeah.
So I was thinking the same thing, but then they were saying in the AMA that they can evolve and kind of grow, and that thing looks like a baby.
It is a baby.
Like, yeah, so I'd be shocked if that's what it grows into. Like, how small is the actual baby? If that's the maybe rarity and actual evolution don't link up that way.
Well, I mean, as this is not going to be new to anyone who listens to this podcast, but I would like to reference Pokemon.
Oh,
and I mean, there is a chance you could get, say, a legendary Bulbasaur, right? It's not necessary. Legendary doesn't necessarily mean it's a Venusaur.
Yeah.
It could be that something like that.
Didn't they say in the AMA that's not like the rarity will decide some kind of progression aspect of it? Like you could theoretically have the same pet as a legendary, and the legendary will be more unique.
Well,
you won't have a common and legendary Bulbasaur. The legendary will be the Venusaur.
Yeah, I sort of got the impression that the cosmetic changes will also align with the rarity changes. Now, again, I don't know for sure, and none of us can really say for sure. What we saw was very cool. It looked like it was a higher level because of it had the golden kind of gem attached to it, but none of us know for sure how it's going to work, but there is going to be some sort of rarity, and that was definitely confirmed with the design team posting that photo.
Yeah, I want an ent, dude. Up at the top left, it said there's Illyrian Leafras, Phase, and Ents. I want an ent.
Well, I mean, I would assume that was from foraging. You would need a gray egg for that, right?
I leaned gardening originally. Now you're saying that, yeah, foraging makes more sense, but my initial reaction was gardening.
I feel like gardening would be flowers more than ents.
Yeah, I saw any kind of plant life as falling into that category, but yeah, it makes sense.
Now we got to understand the utility of pets. Like, how are they gonna boost our heroes? I mean, we saw that they're not going to be like soul bonded or whatever, but really excited to see how they're gonna boost our heroes up.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point because I don't know. I never really thought. I always thought they were going to be equipable. We've said in past episodes we think they're going to be equipable, but there was some chatter in the community that they might be soul bonded, and I could see the case for that because it would then increase said hero's value. But I like it a lot better this way. So.
Well, yeah. Frisky said that they haven't talked about soul binding, and it would be more of an equipable. So
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
yeah. But that,
Do you think that same logic will work for armor and equipment as well?
Yes.
definitely.
If they're not equipping a pet, how could you like sear a breastplate onto a hero or something?
Anything
Well,
soul
exactly
bonded is
that.
just too
Yeah.
much for these high priced assets. Like just the idea that you can screw something up.
I also have to jump in here. All these items, these pets and items, are going to be NFTs themselves, I assume. So
Yeah, they are.
You're talking about it, if it would to be a sort of finalized bond, if a hero to his sword or a hero to his pet. I mean, that's much more complex from a blockchain standpoint. To bind those things together versus just having them linked kind of casually. I mean, casually, I use that word. I mean, obviously, I don't understand. You know what I'm trying to say, though. I think
when you sell your
I thought I
hero, the
did.
equipment's not going to go with it.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Seems
You
to
would like
be
be
how
able
all
to
this is
pull
going to work.
that equipment and be able to buy and sell that equipment as an NFT on the marketplace. As with the pets, same thing. There'll be individual NFTs. So I think that bonding, you say soul bonding, but I mean bonding in a sense of on the blockchain. I think that's a next level that I hope they don't do. I hope that's not what it was, because I would want to be able to buy and sell them individually.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because I don't know of any NFTs that do that today, where two NFTs are kind of linked together in a permanent manner. You say it's harder blockchain wise. I don't know if that's something that anyone's done, but any listeners, if you guys probably know a lot more projects than we do, sound off in the comments section if there are any projects like that out there.
Yeah,
Well, I'm just thinking about
real quick,
sorry,
Maddie.
you go.
No, it's okay. If you want to talk, you can talk again. I'm
I
just
was gonna say, like, it's like summoning. It's like adding two together. And
That's not
creating a new
NFTs.
thing. So
if you guys want to hear Maddie Pest talk again, why don't you hit the like button? Why don't you share it with your friends? Leave a comment down below why we're the best DFK podcast, and if we're not, tell us why.
why do you leave that open? Why do you let people? Why are you open like that? Just say,
Just tell them we're the best and hope
yeah,
they believe us.
exactly. Yeah.
Listen. I want feedback. I thrive off of feedback, and if they can give some solid suggestions, that's awesome. If not, I'll ban you. It's real easy.
Jeez.
There you go.
Okay.
The Bogside promise.
I think let's move on. I do want to keep talking about eggs. Some interesting stuff has come out, especially from that past AMA. That the pets are on the horizon. They're going to be happening soon. This brings up an interesting topic of, should we be buying pets? Should we be holding on to our eggs? If we look at the current DFK gold prices, the DFK in-game gold has increased pretty dramatically, and I have to assume that is because people are buying the gold eggs that are available from the vendor. Now, obviously, this could just be a general, people are buying up DFK gold. I mean, there is not a one-to-one for sure, proof that it's people are buying these golden eggs, but gold is increasing. Do you guys think this is a reflection on people buying more of these gold eggs?
Yeah, definitely. What else are they buying? I mean,
maybe they're stockpiling their silver fins and their gold veins.
Leaderboards are also a thing now too. So maybe we've gotten up in stampots. Is stampots following gold price at all?
Stampots are up a little bit in jewel price. They're above 2 jewel per. They were about 1.6 last time. Gold, though,
Yeah,
I mean, it's up about 150% so far this month.
I would agree that 80% of the growth of gold is coming from gold eggs.
Yeah, but it does kind of, and the talk on Twitter has been, this is just for gold eggs. Like, what we get a little teaser of pets, right? And we knew pets were coming, and it sparks that much of a spike in gold. Wait until we get an announcement that we weren't ready for, that gold is going to be used for something else. I mean, it's going to be through the roof gold price.
And
so adding more utility It's fun. It's
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the utility right now is pretty limited. Add some utility and off we go.
Yeah, there were so I was looking for the exact numbers, and I can't find them, but there are about 8,000, a little over 8,000 of each of blue, gray, and green eggs in existence. The yellow eggs is a little over 3,000 total, and we had a few days ago, it's probably more now, but a little under 2,000 of the gold eggs. So that gold egg number will go up. Big disparity.
And that's a quick question. That's unlimited, right? As many people want to buy them, there's no stop to that, right?
Yeah, I mean, until Frisky one day decides to say those are no longer in the vendor anymore. I guess it could happen at any time, but the team hasn't said anything like that.
But
yeah. What did you guys think about that little blurb we got on combat?
Oh, yeah. That
all right, let's
little screenshot
fuck talking about eggs. Fuck talking about eggs. Let's move on to this next point.
Hey, I don't have an egg, and you guys are taunting me.
Well, that's the other thing. We've had a good week on this podcast with eggs.
My god!
I have 3 in the past week. Guy has 2. Maddie got 1.
Yeah.
You're rooting us on. So
again, his name is C9N.
Shit.
I'm going to bleep that out.
Sorry. He's the only one I do it with. I don't know.
I know why.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Right. I think we should jump to the combat stuff because it is fun. It is very cool that we saw that. But on a final point, C9N has no eggs. I want everyone to know that, and he's bitter about it.
Show.
Let's make that. Yeah, let's make that clear.
These only, no eggs.
Right. Yeah. So at the AMA, we got this like very cool visual. I don't know. Visual's the wrong word. Video of like a little mini combat.
The kids are calling them GIFs these days.
Yeah, GIFs, if you will. Yeah, was it a video or was it officially a GIF? I didn't even see that.
It repeated over and over again. It was as GIF-like as I needed.
I'm glad. By the way, I'm glad this podcast is putting its foot down. The pronunciation is GIF, and if people say otherwise,
leave a comment.
I think that
I don't want to hear
a long time ago.
Or if
no, the guy just died. Didn't you hear that whole thing? Yeah, the guy just died, and he like his dying wish was like, "It's GIF," and I'm like, fuck off.
Invented it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the guy who invented it. Yeah,
his dying wish. Yeah, he didn't have anything else to think about.
Well, I mean,
yeah, okay.
Like the invention.
I mean,
all right, we're off the rails. Combat system.
Combat. It was very cool. I mean, they've hinted more and more that like combat is like right around the corner. I mean, they've said stuff like this for a while. It's very exciting. I mean, I'm excited. I'm pumped. I think, like I said earlier, I bought Heroes anticipating PvP. I mean, what are you guys thinking on this?
Well, it's a passive click, just like WoW, so that's what it's going to be.
No, what? No, what? What are you talking about?
WoW is not a passive click.
WoW is the most interactive game. What?
But as far as that clip goes, honestly, that clip was more than I thought combat would be. Seems like there's going to be some kind of turn element. They've mentioned that we won't be responsible for every single turn, but the fact you're going to have a simulation that shows what's happening in the fight is pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I think that was very interesting. I was surprised, honestly, that it was that sort of. It looked almost like Tekken or Street Fighter, where there's like two enemies facing off against one another. I think that was even surprising to me because I think the way they describe combat is we're going to set we're going to hit do this, and then the combat's going to happen. But the animation was a little bit different than that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little teaser. Mettez, you said earlier they kind of keep hinting that combat is close. I feel like they're kind of saying the opposite of that, but they want to keep stringing us along because they know that's what everyone's looking at. So they keep releasing little things, and I'm cool with it. By the way, like that's fine. I'm expecting it before the end of this year. I think definitely, but like hopefully beginning of like mid Q3. I'd be okay with that. I mean, yeah. There is one thing that I wanted to bring up. That's kind of about combat, and I saw this. I should have been more prepared here because I want to give a hat tip to the person that tweeted it out. but the town crier has a new little blurb about giant spiders. That sounds a lot like a quest.
Right, I saw this.
It was very cool.
Is that still current as of today, or is that just an
I
April Fool's
kind of
joke?
thought it was an April Fool's joke, to be
I
honest.
did too. I went and checked, and I was like, "This is bullshit." He's making me go all the way here to check, but it's there.
Giant spiders.
What does he say?
So I'm gonna blame the Serendale RPCs on the fact.
Come on.
I know that's the fashionable thing to do these days. All right, so he says, "Big spiders, very big spiders. Don't like spiders? Neither do I, especially giant ones. Yes, you heard that right. Amareth's domain is crawling with them. Eek! Lucky for us, they only hunt at night, so stay clear after dark unless you're itching for a fight." I got into that reading. That was good.
Instead of
great.
quests, wasn't that a chance that you could get ambushed while traveling the map, literally at night?
So all right, so before you jump into that, I think C9N, they've hinted at stuff like that. There's never been a confirmation. That's sort of been the rumor. And as to maybe that's like the lore reason why it's a level 5 gate to get to these other areas, but I don't think we're honestly going to have random encounters. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know.
It'd be cool.
I think there will be random encounters. I don't think this is one of them. This sounds like a destination of an adventure quest.
Of a PvE.
You need to go to
situation.
the spider lair to go take care of this situation. Someone on Twitter also said that would be interesting as well. This could be somewhat tied to the bridge between Serendale and Crystalvale too. Maybe the bridge between Serendale and Crystalvale doesn't really make sense because it's over water. But trying to help this person's point, maybe you have to go through the spider's lair to be able to get there.
Yeah, maybe there's a shortcut somehow. Or whatever.
I feel like the Perilous Journey already covered that. It's cool idea, but I don't know.
I kind of had a different take, and I've got zero information or facts to back this up, which is about 99% of the things I say on here, which is cool. But I kind of thought they were going to use spiders as a way to weed out some of the lower levels so that when traveling towards the outer edges of the map, the higher level heroes are able to kind of breeze through it, and it's like a filtering system so that the higher level heroes can hit some lanternies way at the outskirts of the map, and the lower level guys, maybe people that are in like the 5, 6, 7, 8 tops range, kind of stay a little bit closer. But that's my take.
So you're saying like rather than just a regular level gate, a kind of quest-oriented level gate. So they're theming the level gate a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, when do we expect the level gates to go live?
Well, and I want to jump in and say that they've said very specifically there will be quests that you have to complete some sort of combat to then get to the quest. That's something that the team has said. So yeah, this could 100% be something like that.
Yeah, and real quick, the combat visual kind of looked like that old school browser game, Swords and Sandals. I don't know if you guys have ever played that. Have you?
That's a new one for me.
Okay, yes, but like it looks like the old school Streets of Rage or those other side scrollers. Like you're too young. There was a generation before you that did these games where
it's reminding me of Minesweeper. Have you guys ever played that?
No, the
Ace Pinball,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or the Simpsons like arcade game. Remember those?
Yeah,
you do.
Those are great.
That's what you're referencing. It's like the side scroller.
Had to go to Nathan's to play them.
No, but Swords and Sandals was my generation's, like, you're in computer class in middle school, and they're like, all right, type this out, and you're like alt tabbing over to Swords and Sandals.
Boy. Let's move on. Boy. All right. We're moving on here. We're moving on. All right. Oh, great. We're to my thing. Oh, I'm so excited. We're at my thing. So I had this theory that I have a few points of reference to that proves it true, so I'm a genius. But in Crystalvale, one of the exciting things you got to do was talk to a bunch of whole new NPCs. There were some in the marketplace, in the gardens, in the jeweler, a whole bunch of them. And I noticed that they all were doing this same thing over and over again, which is a very common trope in a lot of video games and gaming, is the NPC says like, "Oh, come back when the game is ready," or "Come back and do X, Y, and Z," or "Come back and help me solve this problem," right? It's a common thing you see. I mean, famously, I have to mention it because it's this podcast, but in Pokemon, when you couldn't travel through the gates, the security guards would tell you to come back later, or come back with it when you can give them a drink of water. Anyways, it was my idea that I think these guys are now going to give us some training quests, or something more than just being random NPCs who give this dialogue. So if you were listening, the Bolin was doing a stream when the Crystalvale went live. And in it, he had a guest on named Bone Pilar, who is a lore editor, and he confirmed that there are going to be training quests in the game, meaning quests you can go on that will increase your stats, or increase your hero stats. He confirmed that on the stream with Bolin, so now I'm very confident these these NPCs are offering your heroes a training quest that you can increase your stats with, which I'm very excited about.
Have you had enough time on your pedestal? Can we all talk now?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
That was long-winded.
You did kill it. You're 100% right. But we've only found 6 of 8 so far, right?
Actually, so I counted wrong originally. There's actually 7.
Ooh.
Which checks out with luck being non-trainable.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Solid.
And going off of that, you originally, if I remember correctly, thought it was the land tournaments, right?
True, I
limited.
did, yeah.
So I was thinking about that more. I think it's both, right? Because there are
It might
only
be both, yeah.
there are only 8 land tournaments in Crystalvale
Mhm.
total. So like, why build out separate
No, that makes
stuff for
sense.
that?
Totally.
Just double it up. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
100%. That makes total sense.
Why would they not include luck?
Well, because you can't train. How do you train for better luck?
I say you know that
You
Coliseum
make
thing
a
that they have
make
going
a
on?
magician's game kind of thing out of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
no,
it's almost
you
like
can't
a-
do that.
Luck is
Yeah,
immense.
a gambler, if you will.
Yeah, an
Ooh, a
RNG
gambler
based
class.
thing.
Give me
Yeah.
a gambler.
Yeah, Gambler could be good. One thing that was sticking with me on this is, what is the cost going to be for these training quests, right? Because as we were saying, if they're increasing stats on a hero, that can get out of hand quickly if it's a low cost, a low point of entry to do these, right? But you want to make it inclusive for everyone. But on the flip
I have
side,
to-
real quick, on the flip side, you make it too expensive to do them, and then it limits the access from everyone. Go ahead.
I have to imagine, and maybe you're right, maybe I'm wrong on this, but because it is obviously geared towards whales, but I have to imagine 25 stamina gets you +1 to whatever stat we're talking about. I
Can't be
mean,
in perpetuity. You can't just be able to run those
know.
over and over again.
yeah, maybe there's some sort of limit in terms of once you train once with one of these NPCs, it's a one and done. I
So
don't
it's
know.
like you've got to pick your agility path or your dexterity path.
Oh.
And then what would be really interesting too is imagine if there's a whole quest tree tied to, all right, you're now committed working with this trainer, and there's a couple different layers of your vitality 1 quest, 2, 3, 4, which goes down a whole path where it's not instantly getting all this vitality boost right away. You then have some progression quests that get harder as you level up your hero. You can do more of that boost.
Yeah, but you're like picking a quest for the hero, because they have said they want quest trees to be a big part of the game. Maybe this is one of the first ways they show us that.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I think certainly that's what they want to do and what they've told us. I think it could very quickly, though, become an advantage for whales who can stand pot and just train
So
and
what Guy's
create
saying
these
is
superheroes.
what Guy's saying is it wouldn't be like a repeatable thing. It would be like do it once. Like if you choose the agility guy, right, the agility trainer, then
Yeah.
you're opening up a path down an agility quest line for that.
And
hero.
we've got, think of it like the quests we have now. We've got level 0 quests. Imagine if there's a level 0 agility quest, then a level 10 agility quest, etc. That's progressing with this NPC as you level up your hero. And other games, WoW, have level barriers that you have to be, your hero has to be a certain level in order to do these certain quests. So maybe you can only do the level 20 vitality quest if your hero's level 15 or 20.
Yeah, I like that. I think what we're all kind of hovering around the same point in different ways of executing it is there has to be some kind of barrier around this, some way for them to confine it. Because if it's just 25 stam
It can't
plus
be-
1 agility, you're gonna have this get out of hand
Yeah.
really quickly. So
Yeah, it can't be unlimited, and if it's just a one and done RNG thing, that it'll be boring and the gameplay will suck.
Yeah. Well, I found it very interesting. The NPCs were very, the sorry, what's the word I'm looking for? The dialogue, the text box that they said was very specific, and it was very trope like. We've seen it in games before of like, come back, and do this thing. So I thought it was interesting. All right, this is going to bring us to our final segment, and I say segment on purpose because I'm very excited to introduce a new segment to the podcast.
our first segment.
This is something first segment, I guess, but this I did not approve this with the other guys here, so this is gonna be new to them. New segment is called Terrible Tavern or Terrific Tavern. What is going on with the tavern right now with hero prices? Is it terrific or is it terrible?
I hate that.
What do we got?
First off, Maddie, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Second off, did you at least get the segment sponsored?
Yeah, it's sponsored by me personally.
That's gonna net us a lot of Jewel.
Yeah. Very profitable for the pod.
So
but in general, what do you think is going on with hero prices right now?
And Tavern in general, I think it's pretty terrible, and it's. I mean, for the right people, it could be an opportune time. But how long have we been saying that? And prices haven't. I mean, I don't think they're continuing to go down per se, but I don't think they're really trending up. I think they're kind of doing nothing right now, and it's. I don't think it's a good time to jump into heroes all that aggressively because there's so much other utility for Jewel and for Crystal right now, with these garden emissions being so lucrative.
Yeah, I think I would have to classify it as a tumultuous tavern right now.
Oh,
yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, going with the third option there. No, because I agree with what Guy's saying. Surface level, yeah, prices are down. That stinks. We all want our heroes to be worth a lot, but there are some. Like I've had more fun on the tavern in the past week or so, even without buying many. I've bought 1 or 2. Just because there are so many hidden gems. There are so many. You have like a level 6 that's priced among the level 1s. You have a 15 guard. I was looking at a paladin with a 15 gardening score. That was like 70 jewel. It was like a level 6. It was great. So I think there are deals to be had, and yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, for me, it's a turn the corner tavern. I mean, we saw it bounce off the floor. I was specifically looking at rares, and at one point they were at 35. I saw them jump into the 40s, which I mean, since before Crystalvale has been a pretty stagnant, low market. So I actually think we're going to see a little bit of a bump here, not long term. And I've got zero information back in this claim up too. But that's what I've seen.
Well, what do you guys thinking? Is the tavern going to recover when Crystalvale Gen Zeros come out, or do you think it's going to continue to get lower?
Maddie.
Well, I think that brings up an interesting point that I do want to share. I don't know if you guys saw Mettez. This guy is a he's in the Discords and he comments a lot on the AMAs. He's a really smart guy. He put out a video talking about the Gen Zeros and how potentially, and I don't want to get into it too much because he explains it very well, and I think we should talk to him about it. But he talks about how these Gen Zeros entering the population could really throw off the numbers in terms of advanced classes versus basic classes and the hero population in general. If the devs and the team, create the genetics in a certain way, it could really throw off everything, and it could throw off everything we're talking about here in terms of terrible Tavern or terrific Tavern.
I think that's one of the big reasons we haven't seen Crystalvale Gen Zeros yet, because I think this is a big decision that can affect the long-term dynamics of the hero environment as a whole. I mean, what Mettez was saying, and we should definitely get him on here and talk to him a little bit more about it. But imagine a Berserker where 10% of the Berserker Gen Zeros are pure Berserkers, dominant 1 through recessive 3. Like, that's pretty crazy.
It would throw off, yeah.
Was that really a possible? Well, all right. But before we get into it, I think we should definitely try to get our first guest of the pod lined up and see if he'll hop on and discuss this with us. I haven't watched it yet, but he puts out some great content. He put out also the hero kind of like level estimator.
Right.
That was out there a while back. I got to find that too.
Yeah,
does anyone remember what's better, a legendary wizard or a common dragoon?
It's the dragoon, right?
Is this a trick question or?
I think it's the dragoon. I think the legendary wizard has slightly more.
You're saying
hero points.
It's because of RNG. Because the legendary level ups are RNG. They're not. You can't choose them.
Well, it's
take
RNG
that to
on
your
the
terrible tavern and see how both a legendary wizard and a common dragoon are priced right now.
Huh.
I mean,
did I just segue that back to terrible?
I'm not going to do that right now.
Yeah.
I think we covered what we wanted to cover here.
Yeah. C9N, take us out.
This has been an episode of Bogside Chats. We talk everything DFK, but we're keeping it super casual. We're the first non-whale podcast. No Gen Zeros, no stable of 100 heroes. Have a good night, everybody.
See ya.
Leave a like, comment, share.